Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to have to turn that off. It's so hot. It's so hot. I can't fucking stand it. And it really frustrates me. It's different than when I was in that shed down in the bottom garden of my mum's house for 2 years while I was basically explaining how Australia had become a Nazi concentration camp. Because at least there, I had the perception that I could do something about the heat, and so I would spend a lot of time thinking about planting trees there and being like, oh well, once this whole thing blows over, I can plant some trees. Whereas here it's different. I don't know. I just feel like a prisoner of war, probably because I am. Kind of. It's very, they of course can't break that barrier of actually declaring that I'm a prisoner of war. But there's not a lot of options without, as I said, without abandoning my children in a concentration camp. That's not something I'm going to do. They seem to be continuing on basically on the thing, well, it's like, well, it's better this than the alternative. And the alternative is basically like evolution. Like the alternative is like, in the normal sense, the young people inherit the place. But the boomers are just hanging on. They're just like, we haven't finished. Don't you get it? We haven't finished. We are the boomer generation. We're the children of the war. We're the children of the war. And there's never been a phrase that's more true than that. Yeah, you are the children of the war. I absolutely agree. You absolutely are the children of the war. You are the children of the war. You are the children. That's the song that we need to start singing to the boomers, because that's what all they want to hear. That's all they've ever heard. You are the children of the war. Yes, you've imprisoned all your children and grandchildren, but it's all justified because you are the children of the war. Like that's where we're at. Now, I better just check the volume. I better make sure this goes to 11. There we go. It's at 11 now. This goes to 11. I miss cigarettes so much. Again, boomers had cigarettes that weren't fucking filled with a bunch of shit and fucking, that didn't cost the same as a fucking blowjob in a back alley. But we weren't allowed them. Boomers had like marijuana and LSD, and we weren't allowed it. We got all the fentanyl and all the other stuff because of the drug laws pushed, obviously, demand and supply into foreign realms. The boomers got to set up little ice cream shops like Tom and Jerry's, like when two poofters just make some fucking ice cream and make billions and squillions of dollars by fucking, filling everyone's need for fucking ice cream. And our needs get filled by fucking rapists on the internet because the boomers have created a sexual fucking internet economy so that they can satisfy their nefarious, voyeuristic, fucking scummy little fucking desires en masse. The reason we have Uber Eats, it's funny, it gets blamed on the children and the young people, but it's because of the boomers. And the reason I call this collective delusion is because this is a very tentative situation here, right? Rob Reiner just got stabbed by his own son. This creates a situation where all boomers now feel even more so gratified that they're about to be stabbed by their own children. Now, they won't ask the question, why on earth would my own child want to do that to me? And I will just clarify right here, right now, that I have had to fucking absolutely pacify and feminize myself in order to keep this fucking objection in the passive-aggressive column. in the bitchy, passive-aggressive column. And this might be terminal. I might never recover from this. I'm actually quite a fearsome man, or I was, but that's not acceptable, right? Despite the fact that we need fearsome men to defend against other fearsome men, all the fearsome men are being turned into this so that they can have a passive-aggressive fucking conversation with their parents or their fucking elderly offspring and siblings or their elderly community members who have decided to fucking basically wall themselves inside panic rooms and watch the fucking people on fucking screens and then assume all of this situation is majoritively taking place because of one thing, the assumptions of boomers, which are usually really, 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 really wrong. And they're usually wrong on the extreme side of the assumption spectrum. Again, spectrum, and a word that I'd never fucking heard of when I was at school. But now everybody has been declared that they indeed sit somewhere on a spectrum. A lot of, there was one kid that was on ADD medication, and probably rightfully so. He was quite a reckless, disturbed child. And he basically had to go in through a fucking hallway, past two guards, fucking under lock and key. Two teachers had to put their key in the same time, and he was able to be medicated during the school day. Whereas, no, this is now just fucking, they're basically like the Christmas pageant, like, here, look at the children, we're drugging the children. It's just like Pride Rock, but we're drugging you and castrating you and watching you always. We love you. That's what this collective delusion is clearly doing. Is it people? I don't know. They have felt very much in power with their control mechanisms that they have bought from Tinu. It's not just the home video camera that most people have at their door now. This was the end of the surveillance phenomenon. The surveillance phenomenon began a long time ago. Almost 20 years ago, there was non-stop, constant surveillance of the young people. And so this created a two-tier society in which this one generation, the children of the war, trademark, patent pending, copyright, Beatles, Rolling Stones, The Who. Yeah, haven't you heard of The Who? Yeah, we had The Who, man. And now, who watches you? We won't be fooled again, and we won't be fooled, and we will let them be fooled below, but we won't be fooled again. No. That's the whole, you need to understand this phenomenon to understand the extraterrestrial obsession. The only thing that keeps the boomers in their delusion is the thought that there is an extraterrestrial race that is actually imposing its will onto them. And that justifies their behavior of what they're doing onto their children. Now, weirdly, this is the absolute amazing phenomenon. The boomers don't speak the other languages of the people that have had to fill the void of the natural inheritors of the country, because the natural inheritors of the country are having all kinds of issues because, subconsciously they know that they're being entrapped and fucking constantly watched by old, weird people. And so literally the boomers are like obsessed with their own progeny. And this is majoritively mothers. The fathers are either drunk, they're playing golf, and they're basically just kind of, if you know that archetype of the thing, like, oh, yes, dear, I'm just going to go there. Like, if you've watched Keeping Up Appearances, Richard! No, Richard! Go on! Richard, that's the boomers. Richard, because they were constantly shown Richard. And, when men are constantly shown something, they imitate it. We are imitative beings. This explains everything that we are seeing. Yeah, this is very concerning. But as I said, they're not obsessed In the same way with people that aren't their progeny, so this means people that are different colours to them, that have had to fill the void of the absolutely unsustainable practice of, concentrating the entire forces and financial whatever of a country onto the constant surveillance and micromanaging of the younger generations. And the craziest thing is that, like, this, I'm guessing, is perhaps, like, it's like that hurt people. These people were, especially the hippies and stuff, like, they were pretty heavily slapped down by the previous generations because they were basically terrorists, like that, and that's what they were. But then inevitably, we are trying to bring back the order that the hippie terrorists kind of destroyed, and this is where we are. So it's like I'm literally fucking. It's like going to California with flowers in your hair, like, all the leaves are brown. We've brought a Persian horde in, cause we're afraid that our own children are gonna stab us because we're reckless hippies. We've brought so many Muslims in the country cause we're hideously scared. And now Rob Reiner's just been stabbed by his son. We better crank the volume of the 5G up. Yeah. Like, that's a shit song. I'm sorry. Coming up with this on the fucking fly. And I'm sweating it's just sweating. I can't even put makeup on, Mum. Mum, I can't even put makeup on. It's coming down my face, Mummy. Mum, I can't put makeup on. I look silly on the internet, Mum. I look silly on the internet that you make me live in, Mum. You make me live in the internet, Mum, because you're scared of everyone, and all your friends are scared of everyone, and all your boyfriends, which is like half of WA, are fucking scared of all the fucking children. You know what I mean? I'd expect it. If I was sitting there watching other people's fucking children, like watching them, like in the places that they don't want to be watched in. Do you know what I mean? Like encircling them, like, here, we're helping you. We're helping you. It's like fucking the entire fucking boomer generation is like wrapping their arms around me and like showing me how to fucking do a golf swing. I don't need that. My dad showed me how to do a golf swing when I was 5 years old. That was it. He's like, son, he's smoking his pipe like a real man. Not like these fucking boomer fucking faggots. Smoking a pipe, he's like, here, son, here's a fucking bag of fucking golf balls and a fucking 5-iron. Now crack the fucking balls down the front paddock. Which, did you have a front paddock? Nope. If you didn't have a front paddock, then you sure as hell should stay the fuck out of my back paddock, if you understand what I'm saying. And I don't want your arms wrapped around me and teaching me how to fucking swing a golf club. You can go and fuck yourselves. It's like you all need, it's like a trust fall, like, right? You all need to just fall into the arms of us right now. We're having to project and manifest lots of different things because you basically took all the order that we had and you chopped it up like a fucking psychopath into a million fucking pieces and then sprayed it like confetti to the children. Like, here, children, all that order and control of religion and, law and order and traditions and customs, we chopped it all up and made confetti with it and brought you a bunch of fucking Persian horde Islamic fucking terrorists to deal with as well. Stuck in the middle with you. And our dog. This is what this looks like. This is that scene, right, on Reservoir Dogs where he's dancing around with a knife, right? But I don't have a knife. I'm having to literally walk the tightrope, and my body is doing it automatically. My body started doing this before my mind fucking knew. If I could basically declare now my physical capabilities or whatever for about 12 years as a man, as a boy, went down to, I would say, approximately, especially from the hips down, went to approximately 10% of my full movement potential, right? Which means that my body was frozen in some type of fucking traumatic response. And then it took me fucking 10 or 11 years, right, fighting the battle of every type of fucking ideology and fucking newly created fucking medical conception of every single fucking thing, to actually find out that it's like, your body's not letting you move in a girly fashion or what you perceive as a girly fashion, but it's actually just freedom. And the only reason that you perceive a girly movement as, freedom is because the women and girls are the only ones that have been free. It's like this is the thing, when there's people, and I've had children, right? It's way easier to get your sons to do something because that's been happening for a long time. And girls have this different thing. So I've had to make sure that I'm fair with all my, I'm like, you go do that. And if there was wood to be chopped and all these things, I would make them equally do it. But still, even doing that, it's lopsided. The boys will always get more work. And this is what it's like. You've given us so many things to do. It's like you have to defend the country. You have to defend the internet. You have to defend the fucking financial integrity of the entire place. You have to defend our fucking trades and our skills and our fucking expertise and our history and our fucking traditions. While on the other side, the girls are just basically fucking firebombing every single skerrick of anything, while sucking every fucking dick of every denomination and colour. Just like, and you can kind of, it's like, this is the craziest thing. These fucking hippies just built a big drug-fueled fucking sex den with your children and your grandchildren. And now they're sitting there as terrified fucking old men, like standing behind in their fucking panic rooms, just like, you have to surrender, right? Albo's your man, because you did projections on a fucking spreadsheet. You went, well, based on our trajectory, we're going to be able to swim through this fucking chaos because, we're just going to absolutely fucking tyrannically rule over any single man who raises his voice. Right? So it's like, no one has perceived, it's like, I'm basically getting spanked by the fucking neighbors because I was playing with my little stick in the fuck and that circle thing. And they're like, that's an old-fashioned toy, you little brat. Smack, smack, smack. Everyone's fucking dads and uncles and granddads and everything. It's just smacking me. And I'm a 5-year-old just like, I just wanted to play with my little round thing. I don't want to be a terrorist. I don't want to be a child soldier or a child fucking prostitute or a child anything. I just wanted to knock this fucking thing like I saw my great-granddad doing down the road. And all the hippies are all now granddads and they want to smack everyone else's fucking kids. If somebody, like, it's weird because there is a thing of like, it's not disciplining. That's the thing. It's like, the community should discipline naughty children, which means like the children that are fucking riding scooters along and kicking cyclists on fucking designated cycling paths, they should be found and they should be buried to their neck in salt and forced to fucking, play the harmonica until they fucking shit themselves. Yes, the town and the community should come together to process these evil little fuckwits. But everybody's fucking fathers, grandfathers, uncles, and fucking brothers and whatever shouldn't be smacking other people's kids for not fucking doing the Macarena, because the Macarena is a fucking stupid dance. And collectively now, the boomers are making the entire fucking younger generations do the Macarena. Do the Macarena, you little cunt. Oh, come here, let me give you a smack. That's what's happening. And this is Australia. And these people aren't even Australian. They're like English. They're like, come over here, you little grub. I'm going to give you a little smack on your bottom for not doing... You better do the Macarena. You better fucking do it. And their French are like, like, and they're Catholics. A lot of them are Catholics, which shouldn't be a surprise. There was a lot of warning, right? There's a lot of warning about the Catholics. Yes, we do have a Muslim problem, right? They do like to fucking, they go a bit fucking crazy from time to time, right? And it could be argued that it's like, there's one child died, which is horrific. It's absolutely fucking horrific. One child died on a fucking beach with 3 men with guns and a bomb. That could have been way worse. That could have been the entire country getting smacked by other adults for not doing the Macarena. And constantly surveilled. Monitored at all points. And there's a step. It's like there's different ways that they smack you. If you don't do the Macarena first, you might be told to go to the doctor, where there'll probably be an Iranian psychiatrist who will say that you have some type of hideous mental condition because you're not doing the Macarena. Right? Then you'll believe this because you are, like, basically, you've been taken to the temple of authority, right? This temple literally decides who lives and who dies, doesn't it? So if you've been taken to the temple where people have decided whether they live or they die, and you've been surrounded by a bunch of people all closing in on you and saying, we're very concerned. Everyone's very concerned that you're not doing the Macarena. It's time for a smack. Don't worry, we're going to drug you. Then we're going to smack you. We're going to put you to sleep and then we're going to smack you. You won't remember the smack, but your brain and your body will. Okay? And by smack, we mean rape. Sleepy time. We're all living in the temple of the place where we decide where people live or they die. We're gonna put the children to sleep in 1,000 different ways so that I can smack them. Smack them! Woo. Smack them and do weird shit in the temple. This is like a fucking musical, like Jesus Christ Superstar. But it all takes place in a hospital. We've already seen. The minute you saw these fucking doctors and nurses all fucking dancing around like this, like, get the jam, that's because they're fucking weirdos. That was the glimpse behind the curtain, like on fucking Eyes Wide Shut, except not Eyes Wide Shut. We already had an Eyes Wide Shut thing going on. And it surely wasn't taking place in a fucking hospital. Hospitals are gross, okay? Hospitals are gross. But because of this temple status, there is, an amazing amount of people who are drawn to it. Like a fucking light. Like I said the other day, that fucking thing. Because it's the temple. It's all that's ever talked about. The politicians, it's like, unless there's actively fucking people being shot on the beach and then they just fucking pretend to cry, right? It's always hospitals. It's never churches. Ever. It's never fucking churches. It's never like, it's occasionally sporting fields, because that's kind of like, that's the recruiting drive for hospitals. That's usually a lot of people's first introduction to a hospital is because they've fucking sprained their ankle or something. It's the first place you're in pain, you get taken somewhere and somebody treats you nice. They're like, you're going to be okay. Your knee's really sore. I'm going to rub some cream on your knee and put a little brace on it so that when you have an existential crisis because of your fucking over surveillance and control system that you live in, you're going to fucking have a little heart palpitation and come back to the hospital. Oh, we're going to put little things on you and we're going to make little beeping sounds in the background. You're going to really be at home and really safe in the hospital. That's not MASH, is it? MASH was a tent filled with fucking devastating blood and gore and fucking sarcasm. And functional alcoholism, because it was a traumatic series of events. Right? That's what a hospital was before and that wasn't even World War II. That was the Korean War. But I watched it as a child, which was like 40 years after, or 30 fucking years after the Korean War. That whole fucking show is about the doctors at a fucking in a war. Like the soldiers may as well be fucking furniture in that fucking show. It's all about the drama of a hospital. It's the original hospital drama. They're the fucking most successful Baptist church fucking on earth, if you think about it. They started in, World War II. The World War II was fine. Like, World War II was actually a communal, the whole thing, because we actually needed hospitals, right? This is where people weren't nurses. They were like mothers and sisters and daughters and all these things. They were just women, right? But there was so many people being fucking hit, like mortally wounded by this fucking mechanized war, that this is the idea that this is what the idea of a hospital is, right? This is generational trauma, because that was definitely needed. The whole place came together, right? And they made this hospital, and that kind of set in stone how the future generations would see the world. And most of that was told by retellings in dramatic fucking films and like theaters and things like this. This is what I mean. It's like, we are the children. So the boomers came into a world, yet like they missed the war. They missed the devastation. All they got was the coddling from the traumatized generation who actually did come together to win a war and to create these solutions. And then in the most Freudian, fucking ironic display of absolute weirdness, and probably helped on directly by like our enemies, that were not very happy because they were traumatized as well. They were traumatized by the war, because really the war, World War II, and this is probably the most important statement I'll make this morning. World War II was not won or lost. It was only lost by everybody. Everybody lost World War II. Because basically humanity did not have communication levels high at a high enough fidelity to be able to fucking come to the conclusion that we should not mechanize the murder of other human beings. Because as I said, the fucking natural selection imperative is to fucking be... Sorry, I have a hair in the back of my throat. To be as efficient as possible at the fucking removal of your competition, which is what World War II was. All right, it's a really fucking steep climb that humanity needed to take from there to get to this. To get to open dialect about that, the fact that that is an absolute certainty. We've already seen what happened without communication, like everywhere, all at once. At the highest possible fidelity, never stopping, unrelenting until absolutely everybody is aware of where we actually are, that everyone is fucking removed from this collective delusion, that everyone understands every single key fucking point that has led to the fucking society. I shouldn't even call it that has led to the situation that we're all in. Nothing is sacred. Nothing. You've already all proven that as the boomer generation by fucking, relentlessly attacking the churches for your entire lives. The most sacred thing was attacked. The most. By this. That's a clue as well. And you can kind of see why it's like, the churches maybe caused there was a lot of religious and fucking occult fervor around World War II. So obviously the only safe place was a hospital. I'm not saying it's absolutely planned. It's it's like a really long accident, industrial accident, that is kind of kept going by self-interest and by fear. The hospital systems, the industrial medical system has turned human beings, or attempted to, and I'm going to end it, hopefully without blowing hospitals up. Because think about that. It's like the same as like blowing churches or mosques up. I said yesterday that 16 mosques should be destroyed. That hasn't happened. Well, if 16 mosques aren't destroyed, then 16 hospitals will be destroyed. That's some Joker shit there, isn't it? Because a hospital is this fucking religious temple. And what has it done? It's turned human beings into prey animals. And the prey instinct, if you're a prey, if you are acting as prey, you paralyze yourself in the mouth of your fucking predator and you drift off to La La Land. This is what a hospital creates. It's not what a church creates. A church doesn't give you a place to lay down and tell you everything's all right and die. It tells you what to keep living for. It shows you the power of concentrated effort and dedication and duty just by being in the church. That's the whole idea of the church. If you have the selfish desire that you should lay down and fucking submit and die to the things that are trying to trap you in a church, all you will see is the fucking beautiful ceiling and the amazing hanging fucking rocks and flying buttresses of a fucking impossibly complicated cathedral. That's the idea. It's supposed to fucking snap you out of that suicidal urge, of that prey instinct to submit. How can I submit in this fucking place? I'm not in a church right now, so I'm looking at just a gyprock ceiling, and I can tell you what, if I lay down and look at that gyprock ceiling, I'll just submit and fucking overdose the heroines or the alcohol or the fucking meth or the fucking, arsenic right into my veins. If that's the last thing I fucking see, I'll be like, well, fucking hell, look what we've done to ourselves. And unfortunately, in this country, that is the last thing that a lot of people are going to see is a fucking gyprock fucking roof or the fucking suspended fucking fluorescent lights of a fucking hospital. What a disgusting fucking reality. How many times have you seen that displayed on films as well? The most disgusting display ever. You don't usually see people die in a church because a church is where you go when you feel like you're going to submit, and then it reminds you why you don't. The most beautiful display of fucking death usually is staring up into a, partially cloud blue sky. Or perhaps into a star-filled night sky. It's not a fucking hospital. This is the importance of mythology and of appropriately identifying what is acting as mythology that perhaps shouldn't be. Perhaps it was a noble kind of nobly originally conceived ideal that healers, by their own decree, should replace warriors in our mythology. It's beautifully naive and simple. A real hallmark of the boomer generation's aspirations on the world. And you got to love them for it. You know what I mean? Because about 50% of the things that they did in that spirit actually were, they were semi-decent. But 50% on the other side were horrific and long-lasting and entrapped us all. You've made it very difficult for us to regulate your bad behavior, your hideous creations, without resorting to violence. It's very clear that in the attempt to overprotect women, there's now 16 people dead on Bondi Beach. These people weren't extremised necessarily by Islam. Islam just is it's the extreme place you go. Islam is the church that goes a little bit far. It doesn't inspire you to, paint or create a fucking cathedral or do these things. They all look at basically what is a cinder block fucking square with a black fucking scarf, a black fucking curtain over the top. It's literally, it's like this. It's like, this is what they worship. It's like this, a fucking rectangle. Oh, the rectangle does not look good enough. Let's cover it with a black fucking thing. And let's walk around it. And maybe we put just one little gold thing around it. That's not inspiring. Occasionally it's inspiring to see an actual huge amount of people dedicated to something. Yeah, I suppose. But it's the reverse. Right? They spend their lives going to look at the fucking black square and the black rock in the corner of the black square. Whereas Christians and to some extent Jews as well, we go into a cathedral built by people that in a lot of times are subtly kind of criticizing their own fucking religious structure, if you know how to look for it. And it's supposed to inspire you to leave that building and reach for your highest potential, guided by God and supported by God. You can think of how did those people get up there to put those stones so high and so precariously placed, and the stained glass windows and the fucking the spires and the buttresses, all these. How did they? Gargoyles, right? Gargoyles are a great example of people climbed up there and put little fucking dragons and shit on the thing. That they're telling you by that. They're like, look, we got all the way up here before we even had fucking electricity and put these fucking dragons up here, and you're sitting and crying in a fucking hospital. It's not supposed to inspire you to absolute relentless fucking servitude to a religious tyrannical fucking system. To weirdly hypocritically fucking worship the actual fucking torture device of your so-called savior. To ceremonially eat him and drink his blood. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Fly the fuck up and stick a gargoyle as high as you possibly fucking can. And if you happen to fall, then you'll enjoy one of the most beautiful fucking spinning deaths that anyone can fucking enjoy. 1,000 times better than looking at a fucking fluorescent light in a fucking degenerate, fucking degraded, leaking, mold-filled fucking public fucking hospital and listening to beep, 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 beep. That's hypnotism. Even the church didn't go that far. To turn elaborate organs and bells and choirs and fucking all these things into a digital fucking beep, 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 beep. That's evil. Evil. Absolutely fucking evil. If there's one thing these terrorists at Bondi did, they at least fucking, you know what I mean? They brought the fear of God to those people, which there is no doubt in my mind that that's exactly what they intended to fucking do. They're not bringing terrorism of fucking Islam. They're bringing the fear of God to a fucking devil fucking filled fucking society in their own words, not mine. I'm trying to speak to them and say, hey, what we did is we went up really high buildings and stuck dragons up the side. So if we fell, we could die in this way. And then it's there to last. If this guy wanted to be remembered, he should have fucking learned how to fucking hand carve a fucking gargoyle out of the local stone at Bondi, which, there's plenty of. Any Muslim is welcome at any lodge. Did you know that? And do you know what the two things you're not allowed to speak about in this so-called lodge are? The lodge, weirdly the same name as the Prime Minister's house. Perhaps this is the moment that the Prime Minister should fucking phone the removalists and move himself out of that fucking lodge, because this is fucking ridiculous. The two things that you're not supposed to talk about in a lodge, if you ever attend one, is politics and religion. So you have to get creative with how you talk about these things. It will inevitably lead to a kind of pseudo-criticism of religion, because it's almost impossible to not speak about those two things. So it's like the first lie, isn't it? It's like the first lie is don't speak about religion or politics, right? Well, that just means you have to get fucking really, really creative. There's nothing more creative that I can think of as sticking a fucking dragon gargoyle on the side of a fucking building, on the outside of a building, dedicated to the so-called God of your so-called fucking clients that don't pay you enough to do the fucking hideously dangerous and amazingly complicated work of erecting these structures that have been squandered. And I'll put it across the board by all religions, including the Church of England, which is the closest thing to loyalty that I have to a religion. You've squandered this. You don't even understand what you're in. I actually saw, and I can't believe how this unfolds, because I saw the absolute fucking lawnmower man, boomer, fucking degenerate fucking scumbag that's my so-called mum's carer or fucking boyfriend. It depends which authority he's speaking to. I did notice when the police are there, the ambulance he speaks, he says, calls her he's her carer. Absolutely fucking bullshit fucking system, right? He's from a place called Coventry. Coventry got the fuck bombed out of it by the Nazis. Now, about a week ago, or a week and a half ago, the Duke of Kent, which is the Grand Master of the Freemason Lodge, and the President of Germany went to this cathedral in Coventry. And it looks like a fucking tilt-up fucking tyre shop that's waiting for or a tyre warehouse that's waiting for the tyres to be stacked in there. It's the least inspiring thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. It's devoid of anything resembling a fucking gargoyle, let alone, amazingly complicated and elaborate fucking stonework or stained glass work. And I couldn't think of a more appropriate place. It lays in no man's land between Scotland and England. And it obviously it does nothing but send out to the world fucking retarded lawnmower men that attempt to do this everything, that suburbanify the world, hospitalify the world. This is the clergy that this communist, socialist, fucking hospital obsessed, fucking absolute fucking disgusting fucking creed is distributing around the world. And they are enforcing it with their own system, with their own imprisonment system, their own fucking mental health, their own pharmaceutical, their own fucking death camps, their own ovens, their own gas chambers. They've settled. They've drank the Kool-Aid. They've done the most impossible thing that really a human can ever do. They've turned a fucking cathedral, in their minds, into a prison. Because they haven't been appropriately educated to what that is. A cathedral wasn't built by people, subservient to the Roman Catholics. I can fucking guarantee you cathedrals weren't built by people subservient to the Church of England. And the same goes for mosques. Mosques, they're a little bit different. The same goes for synagogues. Nothing in human history has reached the grand spectacle and the of our architectural buildings, all the way back to the fucking barely understood temples in Egypt, which are basically, they've been shopping centerified as well. They've got this veneer of fucking materialist fucking, shopping mall fucking candle shop around them, don't they? And this is the latest obsession. This has happened before. It's happened before, but at least it was connected to a kind of a chain, a manufacturing chain of kind of grassroots independent producers of these things. Like, you know what I mean? Like when this happened last time, the person who made the candles in the factory that makes the candles was probably an hour or two away. And now the people that are making the candles don't even fucking have any idea what you would possibly be doing. It's siding. It's like in America, they have aluminium siding. It's like, sticky tape. It's like, it's just constantly fucking mass produced, down to like our fucking very religious structures. The most inspired I ever feel is when have walked through a church, and that almost has nothing to do with the clergy of that church. Ever. It has to do with the spectacle of observing something that really, even to somebody who is quite a skilled builder, obviously not as skilled as my predecessors, but skilled in the kind of new technical engineering, fabricated fucking builder, which there are some times that this does reach, a pretty spectacular fucking result. But I'm still in absolute awe. There's nothing I would like to do better than to actually begin one of these projects. And I would probably die before it was finished. And that's what all of these people have done. They all were doing that. They are the biggest possible fucking dream, and they finished them at a staggering consistency, really. And they're dotted around all these places. One of the fucking greatest stories I have is like these two brothers built the most beautiful Gothic fucking cathedral for themselves as their own private fucking worship place, because they were rich, fucking really like magnificent, intelligent fucking, I don't know, people. This would happen. And there used to be an outlet for it that kind of inspired everybody. But because we removed that, because religion became taboo, this is why we now have the term philanthropist. If Bill Gates went and started building a cathedral, everybody would fucking literally, they'd probably get a fucking wooden stake through his chest. But he goes and contributes to the medical fucking temple, actively and very heavily, and gets you all to take communion in your arm. It's no different. And we don't have a cathedral. We have nothing. We have millions of fucking little glass bottles like this. That's it. That's what we have left from this. Millions of discarded syringes. Millions of plastic fucking syringes. Millions of pamphlets. Millions and billions and billions of fucking face masks. Industrialized religion is disgusting. And that's what this system is. And look how many fucking points it needs to do to keep it going. It needs total surveillance. It needs total digital control. It needs non-stop priming by a fucking never-ending fucking fear campaign called our media. It needs never-ending political fucking protection and political promotion to keep us going. All the church needed was a bell on a Sunday. That was it. I love to go to and it has, again, it doesn't have to have anything to do with the religion. Even if I turn it right, I go and desecrate the whole fucking idea of it. Imagine I'm a single man, right? I'm a single man. I'm doing this, whatever. No. We live in this world now. We're coming out of this fucking hospital world. It's like, well, I hear a church bell. I go, oh, that's right. Church is where we all go on Sunday. I go to Sunday and I'm a sexy, fucking horny, fucking womanizing cunt, right? So I go and sit in a beautiful building that I absolutely love to look at, and then I go and pick whichever fucking of the congregation wants to fucking put her legs around me at the end of the day. Has nothing to do with religion. I've taken all the sacred fucking things just like you, but kept all the important things. And more than likely, by osmosis, I'll probably absorb some of the teachings. And whichever lucky girl ends up going home with me will absorb my fat dick as it fucking plunges inside and pushes up against the back of her G-spot, and she comes all over my fucking... Do you get what I'm saying? You think that wasn't a part of religion? You think these masons and builders and fucking priests... And this is the thing about priests. It's like we've had 80 years of being told that priests are fucking kids, right? Guess who priests were fucking before they were fucking kids? They were fucking people's wives and all the fucking single women. But it was kept secret. They were the most charismatic fucking... They were the rock stars. That was who a priest was. But they were given this kind of puritanical fucking thing. This is why the Church of England elevated to people like the Rolling Stones. Right, feminized rock stars who go and spread the word of God in a very charismatic way in these big temples with this music and celebration. Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, Bob, not fucking, what's his name? There's a reason I can't remember his name. David Bowie. He was shy. That's the greatest. These shy, kind of introverted, very feminine fucking men go to the top of the thing and distribute the word of God. That's the priesthood of the Church of England. The unofficial priesthood. They didn't even know. But they are products of the Church of England. Because post-war England was the, that was it. And like I said, nobody won the war. It didn't win the war. It survived the war intact. It didn't lose its soul. Because there's no doubt in my mind that Winston Churchill would walk in and out of whatever the Westminster Abbey. Perhaps on days that he felt like he just wanted to lay down and die, and he would look at the thing and be inspired to not die and to not in turn corrupt and inflict death upon his entire fucking congregation or constituency or, subjects, whichever way you want to look at it. Whereas what were the Germans doing? They were fucking removing all the things and Nazifying their entire religious structure. It reminds me of the African proverb, which I heard beautifully sung in that Mufasa movie, which you should watch. It's actually just wonderful. If you want to get somewhere fast, you go alone. If you want to get somewhere, I can't remember the rest is now. Somewhere wonderful, go together or something. It's something like that. I don't know the exact words. That's what people like Churchill did. He's not perfect. He's definitely not perfect. But there was something about the way that our Protestant Reformation remained true to some of the constraints that religious dogma and doctrine kept us within. The German experiment to utilize religious fervor and then replace it has been recreated in our hospital systems. Even now in England, This is what all these countries have. We're constantly. We have a socialized medical system, right? You know that it's not even a leap. People used to say, "Oh, you should come and see our cathedral. You should come and see our basilica. You should come and see this. You should come and see our temple." It has been replaced. It's like you should come and see our fucking socialized medical system. And the problem is, very much like churches, there is good in there. Right? So it's not, we don't need to become fucking medical Luddites. You know, fucking witch doctor, fucking skeptics and all that. We don't need to go that far. We need to de-religion our medical industrial system and our pharmaceutical system. It needs to be completely separated. And then in turn needs to be, once it's like, immediately it needs to be declared as a pseudo-religious cult that has reached a ridiculous level of fucking subservience in the world and has done untold damage to the world. So it needs to be immediately separated from any state measures, which is really crazy because they're all directly paid and subsidized by the state. This was not the case with churches, ever, I don't think. So it's way worse. It's like we need to sever the state away from the protection of the hospital systems. They're this symbiotic fucking satanic fucking center. They need to be separated from each other. Like immediately. It doesn't work. It has never worked. Efficiency is one of the major concerns of a naturally occurring world, a biological world. Efficiency. Ask any biologist; they will tell you. Any environmentalist, any fucking, anthropologist, anyone, any behaviorologist, they will tell you efficiency is key. The efficiency of a church to inspire you and to leave filled with the fucking Holy Spirit and then contribute like knowingly, all of it, every little piece of it. The fact that you congregate in the same place so people know who you are. It's almost like a competition. It's like, I'm gonna jump the highest once I get out of here. And if I jump the highest, I'm gonna get the most pussy. Do not ever remove the fact that men were always indeed trying to get pussy, even if they dressed as girls. Which is what priests were doing. That's the priests were doing. I'm not a priest, by the way. So yeah, none of that celibacy shit. But it's a very, very poor impersonation that the hospitals have done. Right? Doctors aren't anywhere near this. Hospitals aren't inspiring. They're fucking they're hypnotism centers. They need to be removed from this web of fucking manufactured, designed architecture, like casino architecture. I kid you not, that keeps you going back for more, and in the worst case, like stretches out some type of weird masochistic fucking suicide in the latest horrific fucking over diagnosis of cancer and all this shit. Fuck off. I'll speak directly to Charles. Charles, if you wish to fucking, to try and span this hideous fucking gorge, with your leg on one side, one side on the religious and one side on the hospital, you're going to get split in fucking two, my friend. You've got to decide where you're going to land. Despite all these, claims and accusations towards the boomers, it's never too late. So don't give up hope. And it's never too late to walk through a cathedral and be inspired. To instead of fucking, die looking at fluoro lights, to perhaps die climbing the side of it and putting your own little gargoyle up somewhere of importance with your name on it. Maybe no one will find it, but maybe they will. So, yeah. that'll do for today. I'm going to go and walk around because I'm sweating and I'm hot. So have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.